Good morning. My voice is audible, right?
Hi, good morning. Yes.
Yeah. So we discussed about features of Linux and file system hierarchy of Linux. What are the directories you will get along with the operating system? Now, history of Unix. So Unix started with Multics in 1965. Okay. After that, Unix came in 1969. Then they released Unix with 100% C language in 1973. At present, we have Unix with 100% C language. But that Unix source code is free. Unix source code is open to everyone. So these are the flavors of Unix. See, using Unix source code, many released their own operating system. Source code is open, Unix. So not only Red Hat, some other vendors also released their own operating systems using Unix source code. Okay, so these are the vendors and these are the operating systems. In interviews, no one will ask you this question, but for your idea, I'm giving this. These are the vendors. If you see IBM, they are using internally AX server only. Sun is using Solaris, like that. So these are the vendors and these are the operating system, which is from Unix flavors. So in 1990, using Unix source code, Linus Torvald introduced a graduate student, introduced Linux operating system, and he gave that operating system to OSF organization, Open Source Foundation organization. And this is the official logo for Linux. And these are the distributors of Linux, not only Red Hat. Many other distributors are giving Linux operating system. Okay, now if you see routers, not only Cisco router, we have different company routers, Link, Swiss, D-Link, Juniper, we have different vendors, right? Similarly, in our Linux distributions also, we have different distributors, not only Red Hat Linux. These all are Linux distributors. We also have Kali Linux. Kali Linux is for hackers. We can also call it as Hackers Linux. Okay, so that is also one of the distribution of Linux.
Madhuri, is Putty also comes under this?
Sorry, yes. No. Putty, this is not Putty, puppy. Putty
No,
is
Putty
different.
is also one.
Putty,
What?
Putty
Okay.
is used to access remotely.
Okay.
It is used to access remotely.
Okay.
Like you have a cloud system. You created. You want to act like remote desktop, right? To access others' machines remotely. So destination PC remotely. We have different softwares like TeamViewer, remote desktop. We have the softwares like same like that Putty also. It is used to access destination PC.
And these are like Oracle and SQL, like the similar
Yes.
of different organizations, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And these are the versions of Linux operating system. In Windows, we have versions, same like that in Linux also. We have versions. So these are the versions of Linux operating system, free editions and commercial editions. In free editions and commercial editions, operating system is free only. Okay, so from the year 2003 onwards, commercial Linux started releasing, Red Hat started releasing commercial editions. But in commercial edition also, operating system is free only. In free editions and commercial edition, operating system is free, open. Just we can download and install, no need to pay. Then, what is the difference between free and commercial edition? Means for commercial editions, you will get technical support from Red Hat. Red Hat will give technical support for commercial editions, but they will charge for the technical support. Okay, so if you want technical support from Red Hat team, means you can install commercial editions, they will give technical support, but they'll charge for the technical support. But comparing to Windows, here they will charge very less. If Windows Microsoft is charging 1 lakh rupee, means here they'll charge 10,000. Huge difference is there. So if you don't want technical support and you want to install these commercial editions, you can install, no problem. And features of Linux we discussed. Open source code we get along with the operating system. Operating system is free to everyone. And source code you will get with write permission. If you want, you can modify the source code also. And multiple users can log in, and every user can perform multiple tasks in Linux and can be installed in all hardware architecture. Specific hardware is not required here. It works with any hardware environment. In here, from normal desktop PC to supercomputer. So operating system is same here. We don't have separate operating systems for clients and servers. And no downtime here. 24/7 it will run. No need to restart the computer also. So we can say it is reliable. We can trust it because no need to restart the computer, no downtime. And in Linux, we have security. While Linux is secure, inbuilt IP tables are there, means firewalls are there. It is used to secure networking files. SC Linux is there, which is used to secure local files. So Linux is secure because inbuilt IP tables are there. Linux is secure because it works with command line interface. Those who know commands, okay, so they only can access computer, Linux computer, because everything here we do with commands only. To create a file, to check the content of a file also we use command only. So Linux is secure because it works with command line interface. Linux is secure because for every user password authentication is compulsory. Okay, so if any user is trying to log in, it will ask for the password. If you don't generate password or if you forgot password, we cannot access that account. So password authentication is compulsory for every user and it doesn't support exe files. Linux doesn't support exe files. Okay, and Linux is secure. It works with command line interface. Linux is secure because for every user, password authentication is compulsory. Linux is secure because it doesn't support exe files. Linux is secure because we can encrypt a file by assigning password. In Linux, we can encrypt a file by assigning password. Okay, so once a file is encrypted by assigning password, if someone else is trying to access someone else is trying to check the content of your file, it will ask for the password. Okay, so if someone is trying to enter into your file, it will ask for the password. If someone is trying to check the content of your file, it will display the content in encrypted format. If someone is trying to open your file, it will ask for the password. This I will show practically also in VA editor. I will show this practically also. So Linux is secure because we can encrypt a file by assigning password. And Linux is secure because here no setup files, everything you will get as a configuration file. Okay. So as an administrator, what we configure, your system accepts that only. One moment. Hello? Update Alma. In Linux, these are features of Linux. Okay, so why people are switching to Linux means these are the few reasons. We already discussed about this. I just revising this. Okay, and in Linux, no downtime, security, scalability can be installed. Normal desktop PC to supercomputer operating system is same. Performance wise, comparing to Windows, Linux is fast because Linux works with graphics. Sorry, Windows works with graphics and Linux works with command line interface. That is also one reason. Okay. And in Linux, kernel is there. What is kernel means? It is an interface between shell and hardware. Kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. So before transferring the data to hardware environment, see, when user executed any commands, first shell converts the data into zeros and ones and it transfers the data to kernel. When kernel receives the data, before transferring the data, first it checks the data. If the data is supported by hardware environment, then only it transfers the data to hardware. Otherwise, it rejects back. If something data is coming which is infected with virus, it rejects back. If something uh, data is coming which is not supported by our hardware environment, that versions are not supported by hardware environment, it rejects back. Okay, so kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. So about this kernel, we have the topic in our further classes also. I'll give you at the time notes also. Okay. So Linux is free from virus because of kernel. Before transferring the data, Linux checks the data and it transfers the data. So Linux is secure. And minimum hardware requirement. If you want to install Linux operating system, means this is the minimum hardware requirement. So if you are using command line interface means 512 MB RAM is enough. If you are using graphical user interface, GUI, 1 GB RAM is required. Okay, and hard disk, if you want to use only command line interface means 10 GB is enough. For GUI mode, 15 GB is required. Minimum hardware requirement. Even with 10 GB also you can create partition. Okay, this I will show how to create these partitions. I will show while installing the operating system. And these are the recommended partitions and their sizes. In the last session, we discussed about file system hierarchy, right? I'll show this file system hierarchy. Then I will show recommended partitions. Forward slash. Forward slash is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. Okay, and it is similar to C drive in Windows. and it is a parent directory. And what it contains means it contains subdirectories. These are the subdirectories under forward slash. So first is root. Root is the home directory for super user. As a super user, you logged in and you're creating any files or directories. The data is going to store under root. Home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in and you're creating any files or directories. The data is going to store under home. Boot contains bootable files and kernel. Boot contains bootable files and kernel. Up to RHEL6 version. Sbin contains super user commands, the commands which can be executed by super user. That commands are stored under sbin. Bin contains normal user commands, the commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under bin. USR contains default applications, applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. Var contains variable files. System log files are stored under var. Dev contains devices information. Partitions information is stored under dev. etc contains configuration files. System configuration files are stored under etc. OPT contains optional applications. Applications which we install manually. They are not compulsory. If we want, we install. So that type of applications are stored under OPT. Media contains external devices information and kernel information from RHEL to RHEL6 version. Removable devices information like external hard disk, DVD writers, pen drives, USBs information is maintained by media. And next one is MNT. MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. Which partition is linked with which directory? That information is maintained by MNT. Run contains external devices information and kernel information from RHEL 7 version onwards. These are the directories we discussed in last session, right? Now, if you see here, recommended partitions. So these are the recommended partitions. They are not compulsory partitions. These are the recommended partitions. What are the compulsory partitions means? Forward slash and home. Forward slash and swap. Forward slash and swap are the compulsory partitions in Linux. See, in Windows, C drive is compulsory, right? Same like that here. Forward slash is compulsory. And swap also compulsory. Forward slash is compulsory because it is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux and it is similar to C. So it is primary partition. So forward slash is compulsory partition. And swap partition also compulsory while installing the operating system. Swap is compulsory partition. What is swap means? It is a virtual memory. Physical memory means what? Memory means what? Storage device. Physical memory means what? Storage device which we can touch. Like RAM, ROM, hard disk. These are storage devices and physical memories because we can touch them. And coming to swap, it is a virtual memory because it is storage device but we cannot touch it. Then from where we get, how we get this swap means from hard disk we create this swap memory. Using hard disk space we create this swap memory. So how to create swap memory in tomorrow's session while installing the operating system I will show. So what is swap means? It is a virtual memory. What is the use of swap memory means? It is used to increase the performance of physical memory, RAM speed. It is used to increase the performance of RAM. And the size of swap is twice the RAM, double of the RAM. If your RAM size is 1 GB, you can take 2 GB of space from your hard disk and you can create swap memory and that swap you can add to your RAM. So your RAM is 1 GB and you added 2 GB virtual memory. Now 3 GB. So using 3 GB space, your RAM can send the data and receive the data. So swap memory is used to increase the performance of RAM. So these two are the compulsory partitions in Linux. Forward slash and swap are the compulsory partitions in Linux. And slash boot, it is not compulsory, it is recommended partition. See, slash boot required 200 to 500 MB space. It contains only bootable files, right? So what we do means we create slash boot separately. It is not compulsory to create, it is recommended only. We create slash boot separately and we give the space between 200 to 500 MB so that it can store only bootable files. If someone else is trying to store any data, it will not allow them to store the data because the space is enough for bootable files only. Something else, your data you're trying to store here, it will not allow you to store the data because there is no space. So that while loading, it loads only bootable files. If something else, data also, if you are storing here means, while booting the system, it will check for the bootable files and there it will check your personal data also. So you don't want to waste the time. What we do is we give the space between 200 to 500 MB only. So it stores only bootable files. Okay. Next, slash home. This is also not recommended. Slash home also not recommended. But why we create slash home means, see, users home directories are under home only, right? Where home is there under forward slash. So when any user is storing any data, it will take space from forward slash and then it stores the data in home directory. But assume there is no space in forward slash, then home cannot store the user's data in it. If space is not sufficient, home cannot store the data into directories. That is the reason what we do is we'll specify some size to home directory. We'll reserve some space like 200 GB, 300 GB, 500 GB. Will reserve some space so that users, when they are logging and creating any files or directories, it uses that space to store the data. But it is not compulsory to create, it is recommended only. Because if it is your personal PC and you are the super user, means administrator, we don't log in into normal user account. We log in as a super user. So we'll store the data under root, slash root. So at the time, we don't require space in home directory. This is recommended when multiple users are logging into computer and they are storing the data, then it is recommended. And next, where and USR slash where slash USR. These two are also recommended only, but these two are recommended in server PCs. In client PCs, we don't require this. Forward slash where is recommended to store log file, variable file. System log files are important in server PCs. How many users are logged in, what are the commands they executed, how much processor they are using. So everything administrators will monitor. Okay, what commands they are executing, everything they will check. So for that, they required more space in where directory. If there is no space in where directory, it cannot store log files. That is the reason in server PC it is recommended to create slash where separately and to give more space in order to store variable files, system log files. And slash USR is recommended in server PC. Slash USR contains application, default applications, right? So in real time, in server PCs, they will create slash USR separately and they'll give more space in order to run all the applications without any interruption. All default applications Administrators will run 24/7 because they don't know which user required which application. So they'll run all the applications. So in order to run all the application without any interruption, US are also required. So we'll give separate space to USR. I mean, size will specify like 100 GB something. We'll fix some size. So it uses that space and it opens all the applications. These two are recommended only in server PC. I'm repeating, forward slash and swap are the compulsory partitions in Linux. Forward slash is compulsory because it is a parent directory. It contains subdirectories. Swap is compulsory while installing the operating system. Swap is a virtual memory which is used to increase the performance of physical memory, means RAM. And the swap is twice the RAM, double of the RAM. And slash boot and slash home are recommended. They are not compulsory, they are recommended. Slash boot is recommended to run bootable files without any interruption. Slash home is recommended to store users' data separately. Slash var and slash USR are recommended in server PCs. Slash var is recommended to store log files. Slash USR is recommended to run default applications. Is this clear? Kishore, is this clear?
Yes, it's clear. Yeah.
Monali?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Narendra?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Did you receive any Telegram link?
No,
Not yet,
Not
Madhuri.
yet. Not yet.
not yet.
I'll ask them.
And every time we need to log in as a demo.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow is the last for the demo. From Monday onwards, they'll change the link. They'll give permanent link.
Oh, from Monday onwards, is it? Okay.
Yeah, from Monday most probably. From Monday, they'll give permanent link. I'm asking them for the. I'm reminding for Telegram link. Yeah. So mostly you'll get today Telegram link. I asked them to create. So this is about today's session. In tomorrow's session, I will show how to install the operating system. Okay. By tomorrow, this demo link will be closed. From Monday onwards, you will get the paid link only. Registered link you will get from Monday onwards. Okay. Once OS installation is completed, daily labs will be there. So tomorrow I'll show how to install the operating system, where we install it. That I'll show in tomorrow's session. Okay. So this is about today's session. Thank you for the session.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.